What is going on, everybody? This is Jay here from Maji and Jay. Today we're going to be providing a tutorial on how to install a car stereo on a Toyota Camry of 2010, and this is something that I have done in the past with my own vehicles. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee that I went ahead and upgraded the stereo, and also a Toyota 4Runner of 2013. At least the Toyota 4Runner that I still own has an excellent quality radio. I never had any issues with it, and that's why I am proceeding with this next car that belongs to my parents-in-law. Now, this stereo came directly from a company called C-Kane, and their website has been provided below. They make stereo units look like factory stereo units, and they are very affordable. They make it for GMC, Ford, Toyota, Hondas, Mitsubishis, you name it. Any car that exists out there from 2007 to current, they will make your car stereo, and even if they don't have it, you can always contact them and they can have the factory supply one to you. So this is very, very cool. Now, they have this in stock already. I went to the website and actually I have it here on my smartphone. This one here costs $355, as you guys can see right here. And if you go here into details, you will notice that this particular unit comes with Android 6.0 Marshmallow. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM and it has 32 gigabytes of internal memory. You can also upgrade it via a TF card. Now, the resolution of the screen is 1024 by 600, and even though the resolution seems more on the poor side, keep in mind that, well, you are not going to be very close to the hit unit as you are driving, so you won't notice the resolution change from 1080p, to be honest with you guys. Again, I'm talking about, that I own a stereo unit that has the same resolution on a Toyota 4Runner 2013, and I still don't know the difference. It looks very nice and the colors are very saturated as well. It has an octa-core CPU, and on my 4Runner, I have a generic operating system based on Windows. So this one is a little bit, I would say, upgraded from the current radio that I have on my 4Runner. And unfortunately, they don't make it with Android on my 4Runner, so I will have to contact them and see if they can have the factory supply one to me. So this is the dashboard that, well, it comes with the Toyota Camry right now and the basic stereo. And this is how it's going to look like after the installation. So again, guys, this is a very cool head unit. And again, it looks like it's factory made. So you don't have to do any customizations to your vehicle, to the dashboard at least. All you have to do is take the radio out, the current one that you have right now inside your vehicle, and install the new one. And that's pretty much all you have to do. So this is a plug and play type of stereo, and anybody out there can complete this installation very easily. So getting a look here at the box, you can see that it doesn't have any brandings whatsoever. That's because this is considered a generic product. In my case, the Toyota 4Runner has a brand of Psycho or Seco or something like that. This one has been rebranded to C-Kane. And again, guys, this website is super great. They have excellent customer service. Their response is very quick, so I would definitely trust them, and they do accept PayPal, so the payment is always safe. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump now into the unboxing here of this stereo. And inside we have a warranty card here so that you can register your product and so on and so forth. You can always email this card to this email address right here, and they will register your product for you. Very cool. Then you have here another card with some QR codes in case you want to learn more about this company and the products that they offer. Again, they have hundreds and hundreds of units on there that they can make for your own vehicle. All you have to do is go to the website, enter your vehicle's information, and they will give you all the units available for it with Android and without Android. I believe without Android, of course, it's going to cost less. This one in particular was $355, which I think is very affordable. If you go to a car dealership, they're going to charge you at least $1,300 for the unit itself and at least $500 for the installation. So inside here we have just a head unit with the accessories. I'm just trying to get the box out of the way here. So here it is, guys. As you can see, it comes with an 8-inch display, and it looks at least on the things that it can do, all the buttons available, it looks very similar to the one on my 4Runner. Of course, the trim is going to be different, which is what they changed basically. So here we have a CD/DVD player on here. We also got a tune and mute button, so if you press it once, it'll mute whatever you're listening to, and this is to change the stations basically. Then we have a power key if you press it, and a volume up and down if you move it from side to side. Now, of course, this has Android operating system, so we have a home key, a menu key, a back key, and also a dedicated GPS button, which is really cool. I have the same thing on my 4Runner, and it simplifies things a lot because you don't have to be searching around the screen to get to the GPS. All you do is just press a button and it'll take you directly to it. Then on the other side here, we have the ejector button for your CD/DVD player. We have the band for AM, FM, so that way you can switch between them. And we have a dedicated answering button here for phone calls and a decline button, so that way you can, of course, decline or answer the phone call. We have a USB port on here. This is a standard one. And then we have the IR blaster for your remote control. And that's pretty much all we have here on the front side of the stereo. The rest is going to be located on the operating system. Again, this is running Android Marshmallow, and certain units for newer cars are running Android Nougat 7.1. So this is really cool, guys. I mean, it has been the most updated stereo that I've seen for this car. And again, these are just plug and plays. As a matter of fact, they come already with the wiring harness. You don't need to purchase it. So this shows you that this one is only designed for this particular car. You can see right there the Toyota logo on there. This is the main connection for the power. You got the connections for the speakers. So these are two different connections, and they're all for speaker purposes. And also we have here the GPS antenna. This was the same thing that we got on my 4Runner stereo, and it works absolutely perfect. You must install this on the upper side of the dashboard. I'll be showing you guys exactly how to do it on the installation tutorial. Then we find USB extenders. So you will connect this on the back side here and then supply it to the front side of the dashboard in case you guys want to connect your iPhone or your Android device or even MP3 players. You can do it directly from here, which is something that again I'm not going to be doing. This is all very self-explanatory. If you guys are going to use it, you simply connect it and then find your way on how to release this on the front side of the dashboard. Next, we got here a standard USB cable on here. This is for the front side. This is actually an adapter here for this connection. Okay, it converts it from the tiny USB connection to the standard one. And then I almost forgot to mention here that we do have a Wi-Fi antenna here. This is in case you want to use your phone's hotspot to connect here with the stereo and you can have internet. In my case, I have this little device that connects where you check your vehicle's information underneath the dashboard. That gives you internet, and that's exactly what I recommended to them. It's provided by T-Mobile. I'm not sure about other carriers out there, but I know T-Mobile provides that service, and I do have it on my 4Runner, so I recommended it to my parents-in-law so that way they can have internet on the head unit all the time. Also, guys, before the installation, I must remind you that you had to remove these two screws. They don't go back in. This is for the DVD player. I guess the mechanical system inside cannot be moving during shipment, so they provide these two screws. They must be removed before you start anything else. So again, let's go ahead and jump here to the Toyota Camry and get this thing installed. So here we are inside of the Toyota Camry 2010 model, and we're going to start doing the disassembly process. And all you're going to need here is going to be a pry opening tool. You will need a 10mm socket with the extension and the ratchet, and lastly a Phillips screwdriver, and that's pretty much all you're going to need. There's no wire cutting or anything that you need to customize in order to get it working, as I mentioned previously in the video. So the first thing you must do is take out these two panels on the side. They are held by clips. Most of these plastic components on this car are all held by clips, with the exception of the radio and all the controls here for the AC. So let me go ahead and start by prying off the side panels. As you guys can tell, they come off very easily. Not too much force is needed. Keep in mind that these are all made of plastic, so you want to use a lot of caution. And there we go. We have removed the two side panels, put them in a safe place, and let's proceed to the next step. Now that we have removed the two side panels on the Camry here, we're going to remove these two Phillips screws. Very simple and fast as well. So screws and bolts are very minimalistic in this vehicle. You don't have a lot of them around. So now, after completing that step of removing these two screws, now you want to go ahead and set up the emergency brake on your vehicle, you have to be very careful. I recommend that you guys keep the car on. In my opinion, I would say it's a little bit safer as the car won't drag back. I do have a little incline here at my house, so I'm just going to keep the vehicle on. So let's go ahead and place it on the drive position. Now this part right here of the shifter comes off, so all you have to do is just turn it counterclockwise and it'll come off very easily, as you guys can tell. So now after completing this step, all you have to do is open this container on the side, try to get your hands on the inner side of the plastic and then just pull off. Make sure that you guys take your time. You don't want to break any of these parts. That's not the main intention here. Also, make sure that you put them aside. You don't want to get them scratched either. So this part, you need to remove it in order to access this storage place here on the bottom side that needs to be removed in order to access two 10mm bolts underneath here. So let me set this aside. Our next step here is to remove the cup container part and this middle console part as well. What we need to do is just pull it out likewise. I'm not sure if the camera is capturing this right now very well, but you guys get the idea. Just pry it like this with your own hands. You don't need to use any tools. And then open the middle console here so you can have access to remove it. And there's going to be a lighter connector here on the bottom side. Just make sure that you remove that as well. It's connected right here. I'll show you the piece where it is connected to. So the wire is connected right here, so make sure that you pull it out, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Set this plastic maybe on the back side of your car so that way you get it out of the way. Now our next step is to remove the container on the bottom side of the AC controls. So you must close the door so that you don't get a scratch as it is coming out, and that's why you need to remove those two Phillips screws. So now we are all set to just pull it off, and there's going to be another wire on the back side. One is for the secondary lighter charger here, so they have the same clips. And there it goes, the first one, and then we have the auxiliary cable, and then you're just gonna hit the clip on the side and then it comes off likewise. And these are the two connections that I'm talking about that you need to remove. And now we are ready to go ahead and access those two 10mm bolts. But before that, we need to remove the vent, and that's where you're going to need the pry opening tool to get it out. So let's go ahead and proceed with that. Now we're going to use the pry opening tool that I mentioned before to remove the upper vent. And basically you just grab one corner and start pulling out. This is a very simple process, but it takes some patience and some wiggling around until it comes off. And then you're going to remove the wire that is being connected here for the emergency signals. There we go. And that's the connector that needs to be removed. Now using your 10mm socket, we're going to remove these 4 bolts. We got one there, one here on the upper side, and then we have 2 on the bottom side towards the top. I'm not sure if you guys can see that right there, but we have one here and the other one there. So let's go ahead and remove them, so that way we can remove this whole assembly on the middle part. As I mentioned before, just grab the entire unit on the top and bottom. Make sure that you wiggle it a little bit and it should come right off. Then we're going to disconnect here all the wires on the back side of the unit. So let me get that done to show you the bracket that needs to be removed. Now, after removing the wires from the back side of the radio as well as the AC controls, then we will find this bracket that I was mentioning before, that it is keeping the AC controls with the stereo. So we need to remove these 3 bolts on the upper side of the unit, and they are Phillips, so they are quite easy to remove. And the same thing here from the other side. And then we will be able to remove the actual unit, the stereo unit, from the bracket. All right, so now we have removed the old unit from the AC controls, and here you can see exactly what I did. I just removed the 3 screws for the old unit, and then it pops out right away. Now I did have to remove here the 2 bottom screws for one side of the bracket. The other side I just left it on because you need to move it to the side in order to remove 2 clips that are located on the bottom side that are holding together the AC control. So it is very, very simple. I mean, it's just basically common sense, to be honest with you guys. The next step after completing this assembly is to install insert the GPS antenna wire. You want to install this on the upper side of the dashboard. That way you get the best signal. So let's go ahead and get that completed, and then we will assemble here the radio. So now that we got the radio all set to go with the brackets installed, let's go ahead and connect here the wiring harness. And in case you guys haven't noticed, I already connected here the GPS antenna, or not connected, I just placed it here under the dash on the upper side. That way, again, you get the best GPS reception. This is very important. And here we have the connection for the GPS. It goes on the back side of the radio, very easy to connect. The next step here is to connect these 3 wires on the factory harness right here. So all you have to do is look at the connection. This one here goes with this one. Sometimes they look similar, but if you look the connections on the inside, you can make common sense of it. So there we go with the first one. The second one here, just by the shape, I can tell that it goes connected right here. So you just plug it in likewise. And then the last one here, again, the same thing, just plug it in, make sure that it clips on, and just make sure that they are nice and tight, because you will have to do the whole disassembly again. And now we are set to go here. This is the connection that goes on the back side of the radio. We have the antenna for the FM AM signal. This is for XM radio. Unfortunately, we don't have the connection for this one on this particular unit, so we're not going to be using the blue connector. And again, this is the GPS connection, and that's all you need to have on here to make the radio functional. So now let's go ahead and plug everything in and test it out. So here we have it, guys. The installation has been completed. It's very simple and straightforward, even though on all this disassembly part it might seem like it's difficult, but it's really not. If you're using the proper tools, if you get what I just told you, which is the pry opening tool here for the upper vent, and you get the socket and everything as you're supposed to, it should go very smoothly. And now here we have again completed the installation. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio and turn on the AC. So there we go, guys. This is the FM radio right now. Of course, it supports AM as well, so everything is working as intended. I'm not having any issues whatsoever. It is very smooth to use, and here I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. You can see I can switch between apps, and everything is working very, very nicely. And it works here with the Play Store as well. In case you want to download certain applications and stuff, you can do so, and you can always update the system whenever there's an update for you. So right now here, let's go into settings. Let's go here into about machine. It doesn't say about phone or anything like that. And here you guys can clearly see that it is running on the Android Marshmallow 6.0. So this is very cool. As I explained before on the unboxing portion of the video, this is the back key. This is the task killer key, I believe. Let me just check that out. No, this is the menu key and also the home key. Now, surprisingly, it comes already with a GPS built in on my 4Runner 2013. The radio doesn't have Android, and it didn't have the GPS files for me to use it. This one comes already set up with the GPS files, and let me show you here exactly what I'm talking about. You guys can see that it loads up very quickly. I mean, I'm just so impressed, guys, with this particular GPS that it's just absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything so great like this particular unit right here for such a low price. And now that we talked about the GPS and the radio functionality, let's go ahead and talk here about the wheel controls. They are very easy to set up, and that's because we have this application. It's called Wheel Key, and basically you open it and it's going to ask you to press any button on the wheel. So let's go ahead and complete that, and here you guys can see that it's telling me what type of button it is. So I'm going to select here the plus one. So let me see here, short click. There we go. It is the plus. Now we're going to set up the other one, the minus. We got to select OK afterwards. So there we go. Now we press another button. This is the minus key. Okay, for the volume, you select OK, and it'll program it for that purpose. Then we have here the scroll down button. So let's go ahead and press it as well. And this one here, let me see if we have that option. Maybe we do, or we can set it up as a skip. So if it's going down, let's choose this one right here. Then we got the other one. So let's go ahead and choose the forward. There we go. And so on and so forth. So now, after everything has been completed, you click on save, and let's click OK on here. So let's try to increase the volume. And there you guys can see that it is working. I'm not touching the unit whatsoever. and everything is working perfectly well. So the connection is not the best. Maybe it's because I don't have the best signal reception right now, but it's trying to enter the website. Let's try something else on here. Let's try maybe ebay.com, and that seems to be working. The connection is not the best, but keep in mind that this is intended as a radio and not as a browser, even though you can use it for that purpose. But there we go, the page is currently loading on here, and we can do the same for Netflix. The better your connection on your smartphone. Again, I'm using T-Mobile, and on this side of my house I always have poor signal reception, so please excuse me for that. But anyways, everything's working here as intended, and then after that, guys, it's just pretty straightforward. Again, you have the radio capability, the navigation system. You can insert some DVDs on here and you know, watch movies directly from here, and so on and so forth. So this is a tremendous radio. I have to say, I am very impressed with this company so far. Their customer service, the radio quality, everything seems absolutely perfect. So with this being said, guys, let's go ahead and proceed here with the testing of the GPS. Alright guys, so here we are on the road already testing the GPS on this particular stereo, and it has different modes. You can set it up to where it gives you an speedometer here. Very cool looking, and you can of course disable this if you want to, but if you tap here on the screen, it'll tell you exactly where you're heading to. Again, it does it, I believe, because it is in night mode right now, so that won't keep you as distracted in my opinion, but like I said, you can always deactivate it. So with this being said, guys, we have finished here the unboxing, the installation guide, and the review of this head unit. If you guys have any questions, just leave them below, and I will do my best to answer them as soon as possible. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one.